Following is a Scotch Media production. What do you think of the episode so far?
So far, we've had some pretty awesome guests on the show, all doctors of chiropractic, and they're explaining why they became a chiropractor. And some powerful information was given. Dr. John, for instance, started when he was very young. His health and wellness journey when he was very young, with the influence of his mom being a great influence for him to be naturally healthy and eat good food and get get adjusted regularly. So he came from a good place and expresses that with us. Dr. Sean's story is a little more heart wrenching, little tug on your heart there with his dad going through his journey and ultimately passing away. Uh, that was very emotional, and it was a real dig into his reason and got to know why he became a chiropractor, and chose this profession and why he does what he does. Very very powerful stuff. His story really like resonates in my mind. Dr. Hill, his story is amazing. I mean, he got into a car accident. This is most of the patients we see have get into car accidents and they don't know anything about a chiropractor. Dr. Hill was that patient, and it changed his life so much. Getting introduced to the right chiropractor made him become a chiropractor, and also a very good one. We have amazing diversity in our clinics. Our patients are diverse. Our doctors are diverse in their reasons to give the love and the care that they do, and the patients are diverse in accepting and wanting and needing and finding out that this is a route, or route for them to go to, rather than the traditional medical way of doing things. At Easewell, that's what we're really wanting to capture is diversity. Everybody is different. Everyone has their own reasons that they're drawn towards something, and we love having diversity in the office. It gives us way more breadth into understanding human beings and why we do what we do. We just had one avenue to go through towards, and now we have a different avenue. We've had this avenue for a long time. It just didn't have the respect that we really needed to get notoriety in this world. And chiropractic is now there. From the stories that we heard from Dr. Sean, Dr. John, and Dr. Hill, each reason was different into them becoming a chiropractor, and each and they give to give, to do, to love. That's what we're taught in school, um, and they're doing it. We're doing it. It's a beautiful thing, and we're going to continue to do so. When I was in school, we saw so many different people, all different ages, all different shapes, sizes, religions, colors, from all around the world, um, and it was really refreshing to see that at the chiropractic school, that I thought was really homogenous in the beginning, but no, not at all. As you go through the program, you learn that everybody is very similar, even though we may look a little different, even though we may have a little different take on lives of healthcare. When you boil it down, what's left is a caring human being that wants to take care of people. And that's what we want here in Easewell, and that's what we're going to continue to do.
What else are you going to cover on the podcast?
I see this podcast kind of reaching into more topics. We're talked a lot about chiropractic. I want to talk a little bit more about other health and wellness things. Let's talk about some cryotherapy. Let's talk about using red light. Let's talk about nutrition. Let's talk about uh, eating correctly and moving your body correctly. Hopefully, we'll have a physical therapist on this couch. I would love to talk to a physical therapist to bounce back how we both take care of patients and the differences. There seems to be sometimes a dichotomy between the two of us where we are fighting, but that's not the case. We work very well together. We should work very well together. We do very similar things. They do very similar things. I'd like to talk to attorneys about personal injury, because we see that every single day. It's a large part of our practice is seeing is seeing patients who have been in car accidents or slip and falls, or they didn't mean for that to happen. They were not looking for that to happen, and now they're in the chiropractic office. So I want to talk to some other medical doctors, so we could bounce off ideas of how we take care of patients as well, what we do and what you do, and how we can collaborate together. Other chiropractors who have different specialties. There's plenty of us out there. As much diversity as we have within our office, want as much diversity as we have outside of our office coming in. At Easewell, we're currently we're conducting concussionary tests to make sure that we have a lot of patients who have issues that we can't really pinpoint of what's going on, and usually that ends up being a concussionary issue. So we're starting to evaluate and diagnose and have a neurologist treat those things. So I would love to have somebody on this couch to talk about traumatic brain injuries in the near future. It's very important, and it's been very important. Now we know more about it, and we can address it a lot better and quicker.
Q&A with Dr. Cara.
5 hours of meditating, it's a lot.
He said he's done it multiple times.
Well, if you get into that state, you can. I mean, it's
that
basically
crazy?
breathing and being unbothered of what's happening around you. I don't know that I could do that for 5 hours and not have to go to the restroom or ask for a cup of water, but that's impressive stuff. Meditating for me is a 20 to 30-minute thing in the morning and the evening, just to clear my mind before I jump into the day, and then clear my mind before I jump into the bed, so I'm having clear thoughts or really no thoughts when I'm sleeping. That's what I use meditation for. 5 hours of meditation, he's a monk. I was just about to talk about Ozempic. If it's too good to be true, guys, it's too good to be true. It's coming back to haunt people, unfortunately. In Europe, that thing is used for controlling diabetes. In this country, it's being thrown around like it's I don't know, Slim Fast or something. Be careful. If it's too good to be true and it happens too fast, it definitely is. Chiropractic takes time. And we tell you that from the beginning. Anything that fast is cancerous. Cancer grows very fast and rapidly, and so does all these other things that happen. So be careful. If it's too fast and too good to be true, stay away. I mean, this is the age-old question. Alcohol and cigarettes are legal, but marijuana is bad. Andre 3000 for you right there. We all know cannabis isn't hurting anybody. It's not killing anybody, and it's still illegal. It's still Schedule 1 narcotic. It doesn't belong there, and we all know that. But alcohol causes more havoc than anything and is perfectly legal and tolerated socially. And so are prescription drugs. It's a depression, have a drink. It's a celebration, have a drink. It's always there. And I mean, it's been wrecking lives forever. Alcoholism and families, it goes back millennia, but now we have laws to support, or have had laws to support. Drink your alcohol, smoke your cigarettes, but don't touch anything else. Mushrooms, magical mushrooms, are terrible for you. And so is marijuana. But no one's died from either one of those two. But the other two, we'll just pull up the stats. If we had like a thing, we could pull up the stats right here and right here. Can we do that?
We can do that.
Do it again. We'll put them right where you want them. Tell me where you want them. I want one right.
We got-
out here.
I want one right about.
We want marijuana deaths right here. And I want to see alcohol deaths right here for the past 10 years. Cannabis has been around for millennia. We actually have endocannabinoid system within our bodies. All mammals do. And we were born this way, meaning that there was cannabis within our systems for a very long time for us to have the receptors. It regulates us. It makes us breathe a certain way. It makes us relax. We don't need cannabis externally. We have those within us. We can create endocannabinoids within us, and we do, just not as concentrated as you would if you took a supplement, aka smoking or edibles or whatever it is. But CBD, you're living under a rock if you don't know anything about CBD. It's everywhere. And like 10 years ago, no one knew what CBD was. I had somebody ask me, is CBD the central business district? I'm like, no, it's CBD is from cannabis. The part that doesn't make you high, the part that relaxes you and calms down your nervous system. So that's useful in so many ways, and you can't go anywhere in this country, in the United States, without knowing what CBD is. Everyone knows about it, and it's a brand new thing. That's one component, and then you have THC that gets all of the the bad stuff. Everyone tends to talk about it negatively because of all the propaganda behind it for years. I know when I was growing up, there was commercials where people were melting into chairs and hitting people in the drive-through because they were so high, and irresponsible, and they tag people as being lazy and whatnot. But it's just not the reality of it. Cannabis has not really hurt anybody that I know of uh, personally, and it hasn't hurt anybody that I've heard of uh, nationwide or worldwide. But yet it's illegal. We got to change that. All these man-made drugs have been out for 100 years, maybe definitely less than that. We ride. We take it if the doctor tells us to. Take your Tylenol every day. Take your Advil every day. Take your antidepressant every day. Whatever it is, we're going to take it every day, and we don't even know the true repercussions of it. Cannabis has been around forever. Alcohol, too, has been around forever. We know enough to utilize and not utilize. There's a time and place for all of these things, right? So the choice is in your hands, in your head. Go with natural.
Does you have some of your own CBD products, don't you, from Easewell?
We outsource from a company called Apotheo for CBD. Apotheo does the job extraordinarily well, and it's been a very effective CBD oil that we keep in the office, because I've used it. They're not a very big company, but I've used it, and I like it. And numerous patients who try it never go back to anything else. They that's what they want. They want that CBD. It's been tested on kids with Dravet syndrome, and remarkable results from that. I'd have to go into more detail about those things by asking the doctor if I can talk about it. But
We should do that in a future episode.
yeah,
Maybe
we'll
future episode.
we can get him
Do a deep dive on it. That'd
wh-
be cool.
when he's in Atlanta. He'll definitely join us on this.